The legend of Hariti too traveled along. We find paintings of Hariti in Japan, China, and Java Island. Here we see Hariti in sitting. You can see a child in her lap, children all over. There is one over, no, I thought there is one over her shoulder. Okay, that is the other one. And the first, on the left, we see the 2nd or the 3rd century AD Kushan, Yusufzai Gandhara period sculpture. I'm sorry, I think I was reading too fast. And the second is at the British Museum, which is also of the 2nd century AD, Gandhara period. My Harati resides in skies, bears a look that is fierce and purposeful. Her long tousled hair, I must take you back to my Harati. Yes, my Harati resides in skies, bears a look that is fierce and purposeful. Her long tousled hair spring forth lotuses of knowledge. I have been making these lotuses coming out of hair for a long period. It is only now that I can contextualize it. In her womb resides the celestial wisdom of sun, moon, and stars. Her attributes, in Nepal, I had visited a temple, again an ancient temple, called Guya Mata's temple. That was a temple of the knowledge of unknown, Guya Gyan. So the knowledge of being born, how to be born, and what takes to be born, why you are born, and why you must go through this is the Guya Gyan. And we as humans have the privilege to understand. This is again a very, very personal view. And that's why I have called the knowledge of sun, moon, and stars. Her attributes multiply to transform her into three-headed and multi-armed goddess, while her outstretched upper hands hold the cerulean sky. Her lower hand firmly rests on her bent knees, offering balance and also procreation. Squatting on her toes that have since grown into dense capillary structure, she gives birth to a girl with a serpentine plait. As over thousands of years, the legend of Harati has created a multifarious circuit of local mythologies and beliefs, creating similar forms in diverse regions. My Harati too references and assimilates a rich thesaurus of ancient and modern images, making that produces a transcultural exploration of aesthetics, femininity, religion, mythologies, traditions. Images of Harati from earliest 1st century BC and 2nd century AD from Gandhara, what is today the northwest Pakistan and eastern Afghanistan, have shown her both in sitting and standing posture. Harati is typically shown with 6 to 5 to 8 to 10 children on her lap, shoulders, or playing at her feet. This is related to many Matrika sculptures we have in India. Now, this one, as well as the sculptures from Greco-Roman world, like that of Demeter and Isis. It is a universal iconography which is in Christian art culminated into Madonna, and child in Hindu art as Krishna and Yashoda. Harati, I personally feel, is the soul behind the motherhood, the idea of motherhood that is touched upon still, keeping, I think, somewhere the essence carried on, and that's how we reach here. She is sometimes shown along with her consort, Panchika, the lord of Yaksha, who is portrayed in carrying a lance or with a wine cup or a money bag. Now, this is from the Ajanta caves that I visited. It is Panchika and Harati together. However, my Hariti, the one I painted, is not accompanied by children, and neither do I show her with a concert in my paintings. For my birthing is not limited to bearing offspring, and neither is motherhood tied to childbearing. Through my work, I want to explore motherhood that is not biological, but creative motherhood. Women's bodies have been a task. They have been tasked with procreating and protecting. But for me, the act of nurturing is not exclusively a woman's task. For me, there is a difference between feminine or womanhood and a woman. My three-headed Hariti denotes that her attributes live in all of us, irrespective of gender we identify with. The idea of feminine is intrinsic. For example, Lajja Gauri, the lotus-headed fertility goddess, has worshipped in Central India and Deccan. My previous work title, I did this work which you see on the right a few years back. It is Lajja Gauri, which also became Lajja Gauri once I was in the process and I realized that it was Lajja Gauri which is coming on to the canvas to reside there. I've been reading a lot about Lajja Gauri, but this was the first Lajja Gauri that came onto my work. She is in Malasana. Her hair are long and free-flowing to symbolize liberation and power, while the little girl's tightly knotted braid indicates her domesticated shackles, the patriarchy. The fierce and purposeful look with hands resting on her knees is acquired from some sculptures which have got embedded in my mind, in my subconscious, as I mentioned earlier, such as the one in the Allahabad Museum and at the Goa Gajja. You can see all the three. When I was visiting Allahabad, in fact, I was visiting Anamika, we were releasing a book. This was the sculpture that I saw there, and it is so powerful, passionate, full of love, and full of command at the same time. Only a mother could be that image into a painting. Next, I have depicted a pregnant woman birthing skies, as Hariti too was known as the mother of civilization. Is also a sculpture of Hariti, which I saw in Bali. She was in the same place where we were living, and every day I was encountering her, and she was calling out for me. I took a photograph of her, and it has stayed with me for a long time, and it has come out as this artwork of mine. I have depicted a pregnant woman birthing the cities, as Hariti too was known as the mother of civilizations. So as you see in the past work, you see her complete tattooed body with hair of leaves and all kind of vegetation. I have been making this for a long time, and I realized it. This sculpture was done in 2009, and I saw that image much later. But this is how the images come around, the stories and the narratives come around, and they keep getting embedded in your own work. So no work is done for the first time. Every work has already been done in some place, somewhere. Or the flower buds that germinates from the womb of the goddess is the future that spans across my works. Though the visual language of lush abandonment, feathered wings, and flowing tresses, the lotus and the clouds and the layers overlapping figures, I intend to express that we all, here are the paintings which are reflecting what I'm saying. I intend to express that we all emerge from the single womb, and this golden womb is the amalgamation of yin and yang, positive and negative, male and female, man and woman, animal and anyone else. We all belong to the golden womb, to one single space that we all share in one home, that is world. either through our traditional concept of Vasudevaya Kutumbakam. We can go back into the past and pick the Mahavaks and the Mool Mantras and the words and everything, or the origins and continuous existence of life through the cosmic tree of life, which is so prevalent in my works. The painting starts from the bottom with 6 Kritika mothers of Kartikeya giving birth to civilization in the form of fish, tortoise, and trees, rising up the Hariti, giving birth to a city, structures from a right womb. It is very unique, complex work at various levels. In the lower register of the painting, I have shown the 6-headed Skanda Kartikeya in an iconic form as a deep-rooted tree. I don't know, I will have to find it. Anyway, it'll come. Of a deep-rooted tree and bountiful. Historians such as Namanohuja, in their recent iconographic examinations, have found Kartikeya to be one of Hariti's children. Kartikeya had his origin as a demonic being, a child afflicting deity who was to be propitiated through worship. It is only later that he is incorporated into the Brahminical pantheon and becomes the son of Shiva. He really had to fight to become the son of Shiva, the god of warfare. Kartikeya was also the precious child who we all know had to fight many obstacles to be born. So this image that you saw earlier, I don't know if I can go that back, is of the 6 mothers which I saw in Bali at the Goa Gajah temple in 2013. And I was really wondering why they're there. It was then I came to know that Hariti also belonged to the same tribe, and she was a part of the pantheon. And that's how Kartikeya was raised by 6 foster mothers or kritikas who found the infant at the banks of Ganga. These kritikas too were the embodiment of Hariti, as they protect, nourish, and care for the infant Kartikeya. Motherhood here is not biological, but a sentiment. In fact, the Shashti Devi you just heard about, she's the cat goddess, the Hindu folk goddess of reproduction, was referred as one of the foster mothers of Kartikeya. It was later that she came to be identified as his consort. In using the amniotic fig tree for Kartikeya, I reassert the deep symbolism associated with the tree in Hindu and Buddhist philosophy. At the same time, the lone tree is but a microcosm of the dense enchanted forests. It is a representation. It is in the abundant forest, the lap of nature, where gods and goddesses, rishis and sadhus, demons and demonesses and nature spirits dwell and complex transformations unfold. It is an interesting departure from the customary feminism of nature. Here, because I'm not looking at the gender as a physical form, Hariti to me is the celebration of eternal energy that is embodied in many forms and many genders. Thank you.